Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Drinks Glue, and tonight's production will be commentated by the one, the only Gretham, and also the Schwantz27. Schwantz, how you doing in the Mitler Dog?
Yo, hop along the train and ride it. Choo choo. We are doing the Phantom Forest Railway flags tonight. Gretham, are you excited to watch tonight's race? One can only hope. We do start with Cyan and two other random characters, and we can get Bum Rush right away if we have a Blitz user. I don't think there is. No, it doesn't look like there's anything special for suplexing the train. However, that's an automatic W for the race, so we'll keep that in mind as we're going right along here. What other goodies do we have to look forward to for week 8 of the Kefka Grand Prix? So this is a preview of next week's flag. So what else do we have to look forward to here, Gretham?
Big one I know a lot of people like is Y remove. Those NPCs get in your way, they're gone. No more just being stuck there, just waiting for them to get out of your way.
Yeah, this also allows for some sequence breaking too. Access to the Curse Shield right away in the Norse Weapon Shop. Access to the Magitech Factory if we have the Magitech command to upgrade it. And we already have access to Mount Zozo. So if we didn't have Cyan, we could get in there. And access to Edgar's World of Ruin loop with the engine room in the ancient castle. So should be a lot of fun there. Also, we're going to probably see a lot of physical builds tonight as top magic has been removed. So that is tier 3 elemental spells, life 2, life 3, cure 3, stop, pearl, Merton, Ultima, all the good stuff is yeeted out of the spell pool, and only 2 to 4 spells per Esper, and no natural magic, and an Esper summon costs between 100 and 150% of vanilla. So we're definitely going to be looking for some physical offense here. And the other cool thing that I love is that steals and drops are shuffled plus 20% random. So that means our monster in a boxes that we're usually hunting, we probably won't go hunting them today, Gretham.
Yep, it's whether you're gonna get lucky just hitting a random steal, maybe go for something crazy, hope it breaks the seed for you.
Yeah, so it certainly makes capture a little more palpable as a starting command, and we are off like a herd of buffaloes here, and it looks like we got Strago and Terra to go along with our Cyan here, and we have Control and Runic, and Magitech, I believe, was one of the commands on one of the characters. So remember when I was talking about Y remove? There it is, Magitech Cyan. Not exactly the character and ability combination we'd like, but we're often running in a couple different directions. Top runner is using Y remove to go into the Norse Weapon Shop. Bottom runners here heading to the Sealed Gate Cave in the Imperial Base. What would you do, Gretham, if this was you and you started out with this set of characters that we had here?
Personally, I would totally forget about Y remove and go to Sealed Cave and start looting.
Good. I'm glad you you're keeping it 100 here with that. 9 battles for the Curse Shield, so not too terrible, especially if you find a peace ring or a ribbon somewhere along the way here. Saw a couple of good things. Saw Genji Shield and earrings in the North Shed. Saw a couple of interesting items there that we pulled out of the Imperial base. And with the no free characters in Esper's flag, I don't know if we mentioned that or not, but both the Sealed Gate Cave and the Norse Weapon Shop will be free checks. And given the other characters that we have, Mount Zozo is also considered free progression. Even though you do have to spend some money to actually get in it, we did consider it free progression, so we won't get a character or Esper at Mount Zozo either.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how many people actually try and uncurse that shield, because like you said before, you won't be getting Ultima from it. It's a great piece of defensive equipment, but will it be worth the little bit of time lost to get it uncursed?
Oh, Jesus the Frog, plucking a Thunder Shield. Same with Papa Shango there. So we have at least one Elemental Shield and then the Paladin Shield, a Minerva as well. It's a bit unfortunate we won't learn Merton in this seed here because we're starting to get 3 of the 4 pieces for Merton strats.
It's gonna be when there's no Merton. That's when you're gonna get all the Merton defense you need.
Of course, of course. So we'll see what's at the end of the sealed gate cave here, and we'll see which one of our runners remember that YNPC is set to remove. One of the other great things about the Magitech factory, besides getting the Magitech command upgrade, is that there are actually 4 bosses in that one check. So we did mention that Kefka Unlock is 7 characters and 10 espers, but the Kefka Tower skip, we need to get to 12 bosses and the Phantom Train check. So we are going to be looking for Sabin here in order to perhaps get a Kefka Tower skip. Pearl Lance is the item at the end of the sealed gate cave. Not exactly what we're looking for with this group of characters we've got so far.
Yeah, and so once they're done looting here, where would you go next? Where would you do your first check?
Yeah, so I would get my free progression as our runners are here. I tend to want to get checks that have forced encounters in them. I usually will pull on the little lever in the sealed gate cave and fight the ninjas if they're a good grind fight. Otherwise, one option could be the Casa del Fuego, the burning house. But actually, I would go to Zozo Tower because you can YMPC remove the Dataluma sprite as the boss. So you can get that check there without actually having to fight the boss. So that's probably what the first check I would do that wouldn't be considered free. But you don't have to actually kill a boss. So that's kind of cheating. I know that's a big cop-out, terrible answer from me. But I might do a Burning House play, or I might go up to the Dome of Siege soldiers that are running around and say, "Fight me, bro," to get some extra levels. What are you thinking?
I'm just wondering if anybody's gonna be a elite river enjoyer, try and take a gamble for a little bit of a riskier check and be offset from everybody else, because not many people go there. But it is a nice one because you do get those encounters.
Papa Shango showing us that there are snipers for sale in Thamasa, not Thamasa, Albrook, where he is. Unfortunately, nobody in the party can yet equip that item. Our equipables are vanilla plus 33%, which is the normal standard here in these particular flags. I'm a little bit burnt out on the Leet River after playing last week's Leet River Rally Seed, so I don't know if I would go and do that. However, with the no free characters and Esper's flag, it does mean that more often than not, we will get a piece of progression at the end of the Leet River. One of the worst things is going to do a check like that and just striking out in terms of progression. That will probably not happen with that flag on here. Couple of shurikens just in case, because we want to be sure that we could have a throw user come online right away. So I like that. It's usually only about $1,000 for about 30 of them. And if you need more than 30 shurikens and a seed, then you're doing something wrong. So we'll see where else our runners go. Jesus the Frog in South Figaro while everybody else is in Albrook. We'll see. He's going to go head down and loot the basement there. So far, in terms of offense, we do have the Thunder Shield that we can learn Bolt 2 from. And I saw a couple gold hairpins kicking around. So we could definitely get Bolt 2 online. That was an Esper for Papa Shango, 16,000 for Shiva at the Zen Thief. So he's the first runner with some progression on the board there. Didn't get to quite see what those spells will be, but like we mentioned before, only 2 to 4 spells per Esper. So good luck trying to find something to help you out here in terms of magic.
Yeah, because they don't really have a lot of offense. So I saw Golden Shocker did get some earrings. So getting that Thunder Shield is nice because that's the best lightning magic you're going to be getting. You're not going to be getting lightning 3s. So it'll be interesting to see what they do for offense because there's not a lot right now.
Yeah, so Jesus the Frog pulling some Dragoon boots out of a chest there. Maybe we could pearl that. Wow. We could pair that with a Pearl Lance. I'm tripping over my words already. I'm getting ahead of myself. My mouth is moving faster than my mind is. We could perhaps pair that with a Pearl Lance for one of our characters' builds. And yeah, other than that, Magitech Factory upgrade is the only thing I kind of see on the horizon here. Looks like we also picked the Flame Shield out somewhere. I saw it in Honeydew's inventory. So we'll have access to 2 of the 3 elemental spells here.
Yeah, for a seed that usually leans more physical, we're getting a lot of magical things. Not really getting a lot of physical so far, which is what runners would want to see right now.
Yeah, and Strago and Terra normally have pretty decent. Oh, that's a 20 magic power on that Cyan. Yick. Ouch. So yeah, that's where the flame shield came from. It came from the Norse weapon shop there. Papa Shango just showed it to us. So yeah, Strago with 35 magic power, and Terra in the high 30s as well. I think 37 was her magic power. Usually that's pretty good. However, with not getting tier 3 elemental spells, I don't think that's going to be good enough there. So we just saw the Curse Shield Papa Shango picked up. It is 9 battles. Is that something that you would do, Gretham, if it were you to try and uncurse that shield here, even if we don't get Ultima?
Yeah, it's rough because, like, the big thing for the Paladin shield is it gives Ultima, we don't get that, and it gives Merton protection, we don't get Merton. Like, it's a great defensive piece. So, like, if I got a ribbon, I'd be tempted, but, like, I wouldn't go out of my way to uncurse it.
A couple of nasty encounters here on the right side of the screen. One of them, at least, is weak to lightning with the Fortis there. Unfortunately, the other one here, the Vectagoyle, I think we saw a Pearl Rod, or no, it must have been a Pearl Proc, because we got that Kara with a Genji glove, and oh boy,
Ooh,
down goes, hit the deck, everybody down there, which is quite unfortunate.
Yeah, because I saw Golden Shockers grinding outside of Zen. Do you know where the frog is grinding?
This must be outside of South Figaro somewhere because he just looted the South Figaro basement. So that's I maybe towards the South Figaro cave where that healing pool is. Cat Hood pickup from Honeydew there. So we know if we go down into the basement of South Figaro, we can at least have that as an option for some even more elemental protection. So I think we're good with I think we're good with defense here this seed. That is a magic power +1 and a doom on that Shiva from Zen Thief. So throw that on Cyan to make him actually useful in this seed.
That Magitech missile will actually be useful then. Because that's going to be pretty much the only source of high-end magic. Because it's just a quicker flare, essentially.
Yeah, we will not have access to flare. We do get access to Meteor, but that's that's an okay spell. It's just AoE and non-elemental, so that's why it's usually halfway decent. But we will not have flare with the top magic removed here.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see who comes up with some physical offense first to speed up their seed. Because, yeah, like you were saying, great defense, solid magic. We still have nothing for the physical side.
And Golden Shocker has picked up Setzer and is immediately heading to the boss here. And it is our dabbing Yeti friend, Umaro. We do have Fire Beam. I wonder if we learned Fire too in that time that we did our grind fights. It doesn't look like it, which is unfortunate. Papa Shango here finding some undead enemies. So we're going to just drop some Revivifies on them to get some XP. Very nice heads up play, knowing what enemy mobs are undead and not. And it looks like Setzer has tools using that chainsaw, cutting up Yeti into small little pieces there.
Yeah, just hoping he doesn't proc that instant kill because it would do nothing for him.
Yeah, so Golden Shocker also making use of Runic there with Strago because Umaro can cast some ice elemental spells. So very nice heads up play there. And Golden Shocker is feeding his team some Jack Links. Let's tie it in with the Sasquatch. Why not? This is not a sponsored stream, by the way.
Oh, we got the Yeti powering up. You know, he's become so dangerous. So, I mean, Strago's at 19 health, so that is a little bit scary.
Yeah, he's not the one that's doing most of the damage anyway. This is going to hurt, though. Ooh.
Oh.
I thought that was an AoE versus a counter. Meanwhile, Shiva Esper summon. That's how desperate we're getting for offense here. for Jesus the Frog. But, hey, you got to do what you got to do to get through these fights, right? So,
just gotta slug through it just because these are just one of those seeds where you just feel so lost. Just like going anywhere just feels terrible, just because you can't. It's so hard to kill anything.
Yeah, so usually when I do my grind fights, I like to have a grind with a purpose. So if I had those 2 elemental shields, my purpose would be let's grind until I learn Fire 2 on one character and Bolt 2 on my other character, right? And that would be when I would stop taking my grind fights, because then I could potentially have hit Umaro at least once with Fire 2, this battle would be a lot less annoying here for Golden Shocker. It looks like Jesus the Frog putting Setzer in his party as well, and we're going to get fights against the soldiers, which are some movers. This would be nice for the chainsaw, because these guys have very high physical evade, and they also are, I think they absorb lots of different elemental magics. No, they just have high magic defense. Meanwhile, we are going to the Leet River, so Gretham, you got your wish here. Honeydew is sailing down the river with his raft here.
Yeah, we'll see if it pays off, because it's just like you were saying earlier. It's just so sad going down the river and just having it not pay off. Oh, but we see Umara going down, so that is nice. No more just sitting there trying to get through with chainsaw and fire beam for Golden Shocker.
Yeah, so Jesus the Frog, if he would do just 3 moves of chainsaw, this fight would be over with these movers there, because chainsaw does ignore defense, which is one of the great properties about that chainsaw. Don't like it when it does the instant death proc most of the time, but it's very high damage, and its defense ignoring property is more than welcome here.
Yeah, I wonder if he got the chainsaw, because I think I saw a chainsaw in the second slot, so maybe Golden Shocker was just lucky to have looted it and not sold it.
Oh boy.
Ooh,
Umaro
that's a
opened up.
reset.
Umaro opened up with a "How you doing?" and Jesus the Frog is unfortunately going to not have access to Setzer there. I think this was a Search the Sky from Golden Shocker, and we got Atma Weapon. So we could basically learn whatever spell we want from this fight, because this fight will give us 50 MP to learn those tier 2 elemental spells, because the shields will teach it at a ×4 rate, I believe. Nope, ×5 rate.
Yeah, it'd be nice to get Strago and Terra to start doing some work, because it seems like people are relying more on Cyan and Setzer when they have them.
Cyan with his intense 20 magic power Magitech missile.
Yeah, unless you get that Shiva who gives the +1 magic, which I saw Honeydew equipped to his Cyan.
All right, so Honeydew, unfortunately, running into this fight, which can be really annoying. If you don't blast these dinosaurs down right away, you can deal damage to them, and then they just run away, which is completely useless and null and voids basically your entire operation there.
And just no reward, just waste of time, unfortunately.
All right, so Papa Shango also grabbing his paddle here for the Leet River. Want to shout out to Chrono and Dubword doing the tracking behind the scenes here. Thank you guys for keeping us honest with all of the action that's going on screen here. We do have the boss trackers there. That's what that little Ultros symbol means. And right now we don't have access to Sabin to give us the Phantom Train check. But if we do, we need to get to 12 bosses and the Phantom Train for our skip.
Yeah, and then we also have Jesus the Frog also going to Leet River, so giving up on that Doma Castle fight, probably looking for some more XP because he couldn't get through those movers.
Yeah, those movers could be a nice source of XP and MP, but they're just annoying because they have very high defense and evade. That was an Esper there from Search the Sky for Golden Shocker, so that's his second shiny stone to go along with his second boss there, and that is HP plus 100 on Stray. No Valiant Knife in sight yet, but putting it on Terra is probably a good idea. Terra can naturally use the Atma weapon, and that's the other, I think, build that you would potentially want an HP plus 100 Esper on.
Yeah. It doesn't increase the damage, but at least it helps you keep a higher HP percentage when you have a bigger HP pool.
Yeah, it just means your attacks will suck less, which is usually the goal in Final Fantasy VI randomizer, or at least that's what I've been told, is to not do poor damage.
Yep, high damage tends to be a good thing,
All right,
especially
so
when.
oh, go ahead.
I was just saying, especially when in Worlds Collide, fight is definitely a better button than in vanilla. Because in vanilla, you never wanted to hit the fight command.
Yeah, so we do see Honeydew with that Pearl Lance Dragoon Boots build. I wonder how many of our other runners ran into both of those things in order to have that build. I think he's using it on Terra at the moment. And wow, is this even randomized? This is the Three Stooges at the first part of Dome of Dream.
Everybody likes a nice scoop of vanilla every now and then.
Oh God, this is going to be a hideous fight here for our runners at the end of the Elite River. The Marshal with the retainers. So Marshall usually has his dogs, his Lobos, but we decided that was going to be too easy. So we randomized what Marshall's ads are in Worlds Collide. So they're different every seed. And this seed, they happen to be retainers, and the retainers will counter with an instant death attack when they die. So Honeydew smartly here is just going to kill them off one at a time instead of using AoE attacks, because we don't want to have two of our party members get killed with trade-off at the same time.
Nice block from that one on the trade-off.
All right, so Golden Shocker now getting through this Three Stooges fight. Thankfully, Magitech Beam, or Magitech Command, has access to all of the elemental beams, so the Fire Stooge and the Ice Stooge go down pretty quickly here.
Yep, just nice to be able to just rotate the different Magitech beams just to hit those elemental weaknesses. And Terra, knowing Fire 2, can help out now also. Papa Shango now going into the scary retainer fight. See how he handles it.
So we did block one, but couldn't block the other one there for Honeydew, and making smart use of Terra's control here, actually. Same thing with Papa Shango. So one of the reasons why you would want to use control is you could use it defensively so that, you don't get attacked by the enemy that you're controlling. And that is a Phoenix Esper there for Golden Shocker. Surprise, surprise, it has Garbo on it. Decent Esper summon, but again, at 100 to 150% MP is probably going to cost you a lot if you ever need it.
Yeah, I did see Muddle on it, so... But, oh wait, chests are shuffled, so you're not hunting for the Katana Soul, which Muddle would be useful for on this physical-oriented seed.
That is correct. Yeah, so drops and steals are shuffled plus 20% random, so our Katana Soul will probably not have an offering. Bahamut is the Esper there for Honeydew, but at 117 MP per summon, we probably won't see that all that often, especially because multi-summon is not on either.
Yeah, it would be nice to be able to cast it multiple times with, like, let's say, an Economizer, but we do not like magic in this seed, so only get to use it the one time.
All right, so Honey here, maybe he forgot his Moogle Charm, or he's taken it off in order to get those random drops and steals here for this fight. We'll see what it rewards him. That is a Soldier Sprite at Dream 2.
Okay. Papa Shango getting through his fight with the retainers. Now it's Jesus' turn to go through it.
Yeah, so that is a Soldier Sprite here at Cyan's Dream number 2, so this will not be a character. So we've got 2 for 2 so far in Dream, and we can check the throne for a third reward. It will either be an Esper or an item.
Yeah, it's not pleasant going 22 minutes into the seed and only still rocking your 3 original characters. At least Golden Shocker has the 4th, but it's always nice to at least have a 4th character to help out.
Yeah, so I think once Jesus the Frog is done here, he knows that Setzer is at Dome of Dream, and he knows what the boss is there, so he could definitely be a bit better prepared for this fight.
Especially because I would assume at this point have people who have learned Fire 2, making that fight a lot easier.
All right, so Honeydew here is going to lean into Terra's checks in the world of Balanced Narsh. We didn't see a character there at the Umaro Cave, so that's not going to be a character. It'll be Esper item. And this is also Esper item. And oh, my goddess.
Ooh, this is a little bit scary.
Yeah, we do have access to Chainsaw, which will be good with Goddess's high magical defense. And we do have access to Runic to help us stay safe. We've got a Thunder Shield, but Cyan does not have it on, unfortunately. And here, speaking of the Leet River, that was Ultros 1 for Honeydew there at the Welk spot.
Yep. Oh, and then we get another Magicite. Looks like it will show us here.
Yeah, Zone Seek with Dispel. What spell did you get? Dispel.
Dispel.
And he is going to go pick up that other shield back there.
Yep, another item added to the long list of defensive options you have, but still no real offense.
All right, so he was able to get that Thunder Shield onto Cyan there, while his other two homies are napping on the job. Come on, guys, we got a boss fight to kill.
Papa Cyan, just having to carry him through the fight.
Papa
Not
Shango,
words you want to hear often.
No. 20 magic power, Magitech Cyan. Let's do it. So Papa Shango here, going to the Magitech factory, is parked right outside of Vector. This is a really nice play. I would have gone here as soon as I humanly possibly could have to upgrade that Magitech command here.
Yeah, especially with the +1 magic. Esper being able to at least help his woeful magic stat at least a little bit. Oh, that's so beautiful. Why removing those NPCs that you have to just run behind through the tower?
Yeah, guys, we don't want to know what time it is. I know you're off of work and you're on your way home, but get the heck out of my way.
Just get removed from existence.
All right, so Golden Shocker is in the home stretch here. Now we have the Overcast phase of Goddess. And it looks like we're going to bring Setzer back up here so that he's just in time to get MP. Unfortunately, Mog is looking a little sick. Oh, no, that's not Mog. That's Terra.
Terra in a costume.
Yep. And Honeydew is going to yeet the boss out of the way. One of my favorite things to do here with this check. And it's another Esper. So that's the fourth Esper for him. Unfortunately, that also means that he's not going to get credit for a boss kill. But I don't think that matters too much, Gretham, because we don't know where Phantom Train fits into our plans yet.
Yep. Still have not seen Sabin yet.
So one of the interesting things is with Y NPC set to remove, you could actually get into Mount Zozo, from the world of Balance. You can just yeet the doors out of the way and get in there. Was that Phantom? Yes, that is Phantom with Meteor. So that's probably the best spell we're going to see this seed on that Esper. And that was the one from Zozo Tower.
Yeah, and away in case of emergencies, if you don't have other great Kefka protection, you can at least use that on phase 3.
Uh-oh, level 4 Flare. Let's see if Golden Shocker passes the math test here.
Okay, he passes his math test.
Whew. And we got yet another Ultros sighting here with Ultros and Chupon.
Yeah, unfortunately, no XP from that, or magic points.
Yeah, you hate to see it happen. All right, so that... Yeah, go ahead.
No, he gets rewarded with another Esper, which is what we've been seeing a lot tonight. It's just Esper after Esper.
Yeah, so one of the interesting things is if you wanted to, you could actually YNPC remove the Shiva sprite and the number 24 sprite here to get to Magitech Factory number 3 to get to the minecart right away. But you actually don't get the rewards, so you wouldn't get Odin because you didn't technically beat the fight. That has mute on it, so that's going to be very helpful for us in the final fight there.
I'm starting to collect their tools here and there to take on Kefka.
And Starlet's got speed +2 and Berserk there for Golden Shocker after that very long, arduous Goddess fight that he pulled through. Very nicely done.
For people who are still using the jumper build, getting some speed is always nice.
And then that is Ifrit, so life the first on that spell there. So Golden Shocker's got a pretty big lead right now in terms of progression. I think he is at he's at 4 and 5 with having done Cyan's Dream. But I do like what Papa Shango's route is taking him through the Magitech factory here to upgrade that Magitech ability. And yes, instant death proc. Let's go on that bottom left tentacle.
Yep. It's always the bottom left. Bottom left with the Larry, Curly, and Moe, and then bottom left with the tentacles. A good way to remember that.
Oh, I didn't even realize that. That is quite interesting.
Yeah, I forget who I heard it from, but I would always forget also and never even bother trying. But somebody said it, and it has stuck in my brain ever since.
There we go. All right, let's see what our free check at the Collingen in is. It's fixed dice, which is perfect for our Setzer there. We could start moving him off of Chainsaw and moving him onto fixed dice.
Yep, start praying to the RNGesus for fixed dice rather than not a proc with Chainsaw.
Yep. All right. Another Esper there for Papa Shango after that fight is over and done with. And Honeydew is following Papa Shango into the Magitech factory here.
I'm gonna get his 2 Espers if he doesn't Y remove them, and then maybe a character finally into the third one.
Yeah, so the third one here, we have to fight 3 forced encounters, 2 bosses, and then we get either a character or an Esper. Yep, there we go. Papa Shango does not save over his only save spot. That is one way to soft lock yourself into into the Magitech factory. Never fun to do that one.
Yeah, I've soft locked myself one time, and now I just press down every time before saving. Just rotate those saves.
Well, in Worlds Collide, you only ever learn anything the hard way. And Honeydew is...
Why removing?
Yeah. He is not having any of this NPC nonsense here. He doesn't care what these 2 rewards are. It's quite unfortunate for him that one of them has mute on it. And the single pug is not a fight we want to see. So let's get the heck out of this one.
That's an interesting choice. Why removing the 2 NPCs, losing out on those 2 Espers, especially when you need that 1 extra with the 10 Espers to get the unlock.
I mean, I can understand it because he wants to get the Magitech upgrade as soon as humanly possible. And going back in and doing that walk doesn't take all that long. It's maybe probably like 30 or 40 seconds to walk back to the first boss and then walk to the second boss later on in the seed if we find we need 2 more Espers.
Oh, interesting. That makes sense. For some reason in my mind, I just, why remove? They're gone forever. But that does make sense that they would come back, so you can just go back right back in and get them.
Yeah, so it's not like Collapsing House or Imperial Camp where after you do the check that you can't ever go back into it. The Magitech factory is always open. And Papa Shango finding one of the random encounters here on the minecart ride contains a stray cat fight. So now we're looking for a character with rage. Remember, we're trying not to lean on magic in this seed because we get no access to top magic here.
Yeah, so looking for a blitz for last bum rush off, and rage is right now some 2 commands you really want.
All right, so Golden Chakras in Daryl's tomb. I believe that was Ramu that is buried here, so we're going to get another Esper. And we still don't know where a 5th character can be. Now, since Celeste's checks are technically not what we would call in logic, because we don't actually have Celeste here, this is not guaranteed to be a character here, right? Because it might not be the way through the seed.
I wouldn't know. I would have just assumed it just was a coin flip. I do not know enough about the logic of the game, especially with breaks.
Yeah, sequence breaking can lead to all sorts of fun stuff. There are some implications for it, but most of the time it's not a big deal. We just take it as it comes. So Papa Shango, knowing that Narapa has Reflect on, decided to cast Reflect on his own party member and bounce the spell off to hit Narapa. So nice heads-up play there from Papa Shango when you don't have anything better to do against Narapa.
And the Frog here is finally getting his Setzer. Going to the Doma Castle. Should be easy for him.
There's a character. Oh, that could be spicy there. Edgar with lore. Who are we taking out?
Yep, could be a good source of magic damage. It's whether he gets that good lore list or not.
Gretham, where did Umaro go?
Umaro, oh, did he go for a nice little jump? I see.
I think so.
Cast a bit too much magic on him.
God, that takes so long, that attack. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, just put the controller down, go get a snack, come back, and he might start the animation for landing by then.
All right, so Papa Shango finding out here. We got an Ifrit Shiva French vanilla fight. And we have Ice Beam and an Ice Rod, but that's about it. And we do get it taken care of. Unfortunately, Edgar's lore list leaves something to be desired. I mean, we could do Exploder strats if we put an HP plus 100 Esper on him, but that would be ridiculous.
Yeah, not a great lore list, not a great magic stat. Ugh, not the great character you were hoping for.
Well, here's the thing, though, right? Edgar's equipment pool is arguably one of the best in the game. He could definitely use that Pearl Lance with the Dragoon Boots, and he could use all of the big swords. So it might be worth it to keep him in our party, especially since, right, we don't have anything really for Strago to do at the moment. We really don't have anything for Terra to do either.
Yeah, so far Strago has just been using those level 2 spells, and Runic in some situations not a great party member, so you just take Terra, take Edgar, hope you get some big swingy herdy sticks.
Alright, so Golden Shocker here in Mount Zozo is going to take out the Skull Durgan, grabbing a Force Shield. Not exactly what we were looking for. And hey, there are fixed dice for sale that Jesus the Frog is in one of the Colon Gins. I don't know which one this is. I would assume it's World of Balance because he must have went straight there from when he got Setzer in the Dome Siege fight.
Could anybody else use the dice? I didn't see if anybody else could actually use them.
I didn't either. It was so fast. I just saw the dice, and that was about it. Papa Shango buying some Dragoon Boots, so he didn't find any. But with Edgar at the front of the party, everything in the World of Ruin South Figaro is half off anyway, and that's an economizer there for Golden Shocker, even less useful than normal.
It looks like he's probably going to be Genji gloving, maybe. Yep, Genji gloving those dice. Might as well, roll 2 dice rather than roll the 4.
Yeah, I guess it's painfully slow, but that's okay. It mitigates the RNG floor of things. Honeydew, meanwhile, finding a Ragnarok in the Colosseum. We didn't see this Ragnarok when Golden Shocker was in the Colosseum. What is this a trade for here? I didn't see it. Oh, there's an offering in there too. Multiple offerings for Atlas armlets. There's a cat hood in there. Stop scrolling so fast.
You want to see everything because everything is good in this Coliseum.
Yeah,
so many options.
Oh my goodness. So we got an offering for our fixed dice user. I don't know what the heck the trade was for the Ragnarok. There is a cat hood in there as well. We did get a cat hood I don't remember if it was out of a chest or if it was one of the I think
it was the basement in South Figaro, I believe.
Yes, good call.
I mean, if you have offering, you have a Genji glove, you have 2 fixed dice, you can go for the final 4.
No.
Dice.
No, we'll be here all day.
Oh, I wonder how long that animation would take.
All right, so both Strago and Setzer can use the fixed dice looking at Papa Shango. So that's something for Strago to do. And Honeydew hitting the jackpot there, getting the Ragnarok out of the Coliseum for Edgar. So, okay, we're starting to find some offense here slowly but surely.
Yep, starting to be able to do damage and not just sit there relying on 20 Magitech elemental beams.
Yeah, so Papa Shango's Edgar is going to be jumping with that Pearl Lance. Golden Shocker getting the Esper from the Welk check and is marching his way up to Kefka at Narsh. We have not seen this yet. this is some new 4-1-1 on our screen here.
Because Honeydew went in, did the terror check, and then left. Will this pay off?
Ooh, nice dice rolls there for Jesus the Frog, and that is an imp sprite, so not a character here. But if it's a Esper like Fenrir or a Golem, perhaps, for Calmness Protection, then it's definitely worth coming up here.
Yeah, because otherwise, I don't know if Golden Shocker got it, but the only other commerce protection I've seen is Phantom, and that could be tough if you don't have Quick, which is turned off, to time that properly.
Absolutely. Stray Esper there for Jesus the Frog from Search in the Skies. And Papa Shango going to hit up the Coliseum here as well. We'll see if we can get that Ragnarok for him or not.
Ragnarok much better than a poor man's jump build with Edgar right now. Jumping's great when you have the jump built in and the horn, but when you're using the boots, it's kind of rough with no horn.
Yeah, it does more damage than a lot of attacks. The problem is it just is time consuming. Okay, so that is a Magicite for a Ragnarok. There was a Dragon Horn as well. I saw it on the right side. I swear.
Yeah, there's a hero ring down there too. Just in case you don't have those Atlas armlets yet.
Yeah, so I think Papa Shango is going to go pick up this rag and maybe pick up the Dragon Horn here based on his build. And it is Rexall here at Kefka at Narsh. So are going to be able to use Ice Beam, except he does have very high magic defense.
That 3-digit Ice Beam. I guess just back to relying on fixed dice and rolling poorly.
Yep. All right, so Papa Shango does pick up that cat hood as well. Jesus the Frog here, hoping to get a drop from a dragon. We already know that this is nothing. Okay, so it's white dresses for dragon horns. We saw them in the shop, so I know at least one other runner picked up some white dresses. That's one of my favorite pieces of armor to buy. It gives +5 magic power, and it's usually like 2,200 GP. So very cheap.
Always nice to get those cheap, good enough armor pieces like the white dress, like a green beret, even like a Magus hat if you need that magic stat. Because sometimes you just don't get armor, and you don't want to show up to Kefka essentially naked with like leather armor.
All right, so that was Palador there from Golden Shocker. So that is Fallen One protection. We could jump over Fallen One when we get to Kefka.
Jesus the Frog taking out Skull Dragon, gonna get his force shield. Just everyone's starting their collection of nice shields.
Yeah, we already have a Minerva and 2 other elemental shields. We don't really need this force shield. I don't think anybody uncursed the shield. Am I right, Gretham?
I haven't seen anybody uncurse it because I don't think I've seen ribbons either. So
no ribbons, no peace rings, no reason to uncurse it.
Yeah, if you had the option of getting Ultima, you might risk it. Just take their weapon off and just hope they don't do anything ridiculous with that confuse. But when you can't learn Ultima, you have no Merton.
All right, so there's another character here. We do have Yeti, who is the mom to all the kids at Mobliz. That's a bold strategy for that town.
Yeah.
Letting the Sasquatch raise the kids.
Yeah, the Yeti doesn't seem the nurturing type, but you never know. Maybe he is.
There's the soft side to Squatch. Honeydew is going to grab his 3 Espers here from Cyan's Dream. And we do know that there isn't a character behind Umaro's check. We did peek that when we went up to do our Welk spot. So that, unfortunately, is going to be another dead end for Golden Shocker. So we still haven't found our 6th character in Logic that will make us progress the seed. So what do I mean by that? We did find Edgar in the Magitech factory, but since we don't have Celeste, he's not part of the logical chain that the game expects you to go on. Worlds Collide is coded such that you are able to get all of the characters and all of the Espers in any given seed. So that means that we have to have a character other than Umaro in one of Setzer, Cyan, Strago, or Terra's checks. And it's got to be one that we haven't seen yet. I think we've seen all of Terra's checks at this point, right?
I believe so, yeah, because we have seen... Yeah, we've seen them all. I'm guessing it's just the Strago checks that we're going to start having to take a peek at.
Yeah, we've seen all of Setzer's checks. We saw the Daryl's Tomb and Search the Sky. And we've seen Cyan's check. So it's got to be in Strago's check somewhere. Because Kefka at Narsh is not the answer either.
Yeah. Which one would you do first? You go into the
Abbott's
Burning
Rock.
House, or are you going to the Search for Coral?
Well, I would actually peek Fnatic's Tower and then curse myself for for getting into a seed with bad magic and having to do Fnatic's Tower. Cyan hit the deck for Golden Shocker there. I might actually I would actually maybe think about bringing Umaro into Fnatic's Tower with me if that was the case.
And especially if you could use something like Fixed Dice. Yeah, just getting that Berserk so you can at least get those auto attacks off because everybody else is stuck using pitiful elemental level 2 magic.
Yeah, so Honeydew unfortunately just fell victim to one of the weirdest vanilla glitches in Final Fantasy VI. If you kill Larry before you kill Curly and Larry gets revived, there is certain instances where Larry can be revived in like sort of a jump type state where technically he's not on the screen, so he's not a valid target, but he's still there. And the only way to kill him is with like an AoE spell like Meteor or something like that, because you can't actually target him, right? So it's got to be something that's not targetable. Lore would also work there too, but it's one of those weird quirks of the game. So make sure you kill Curly first, folks.
Interesting. I've never even heard of that.
Well, now you know.
Yep. Now I know to avoid that because that does not sound fun. It's like if I die, I could have done something better. But if it's a glitch, that's just always just feels so off because it's nothing. I mean, you could have played around the glitch, but it's still not really your fault.
Yeah, it's not fun. Honeydew having to resort to ice the first here. Not fun.
And Golden Shocker on the hunt for his coral.
Yeah, so this is our first Strago check that we've done. Again, we still don't know what the Fnatic's Tower has. We can peek the reward at the bottom. And we don't know what Burning House has because none of our runners decided to do that as their first check option in this seed.
I believe somebody peeked Fnatic's Tower, but I was not paying attention. I remember seeing it, but I forget what was there.
Okay, well...
so I know that's not very useful, but...
Well, we do have a bold restream team here. Dubward and Chrono on tracking, and Drinks Glue pushing the beepity bops behind the scene to make the engines whirl. So if anybody did see it...
yeah, it was, like Chrono said, it was skipped, so...
So if it was skipped, or if somebody saw it and then left, then that must mean that it must be an Esper. So we'll see if that's the case. If any of our other runners decide to go give it a peek.
Golden Shocker getting his 22 coral in not bad time, so not too bad of a check so far.
Yeah, that check has been way, way better since the update to warp you to the 3 set rooms after you've gotten the 22 pieces of coral. Beforehand, it was just a nightmare because you could get your 22 coral and then you could be searching for minutes afterwards to get the treasure chest room.
I can see why so many people have hate for that check. When I came in, I was like, it's not that bad, but a lot of people do not like Ebbett's Rock.
Well, listen, we like our randomizer, but we don't like too much randomness, and Ebbett's Rock is too much randomness, apparently.
Yeah. You don't want randomness in a randomness of a randomizer.
Yeah, which is why, I mean, I'm not a huge fixed dice person unless, you sort of have to use it. They're very good early on, and then from about where our runner's at now, level 22, 25-ish, onward, it's something I'd rather not do because the ceiling is not much higher than what your damage will be, but the floor is very low.
Yep, always sad when you get no weapons and You're just sitting there in Kefka's tower throwing dice at things.
It does ignore defense, and it always hits. So there's a lot of great properties of fixed dice, but I'd rather be doing something else. Golden Shocker is probably pretty happy that he went to Ebbett's Rock. Gets Golem, so there's our calmness protection in Ebbett's Rock, and it looks like we are doing a Casa del Fuego play here for Golden Shocker.
You would assume if they skipped Fanatic's Tower, they should have a character.
Yeah, if they went to Fanatic's Tower, and there's an enhancer, and guess who could wear it? Cyan. Thank goodness. We need to crank up his magic power somehow, and that'll give him +7 magic power with that item there.
Yeah, try and get those elemental beams a little bit scary, because I don't believe Golden Shocker is one of the ones who broke into Magitech Factory.
So Golden Shocker, I just saw his Cyan. His Cyan's magic power is now 57. So that magic power +1 Esper from the beginning of the seed actually paying off some dividends here.
Yeah, he's a wise old man finally. Grew into his knowledge with age.
All right, so eventually we'll get our Burning House play here, but Honeydew and Jesus the Frog both getting past their goddess fights to get their other 2 Espers here at Dome of Dream. And again, we are on our hunt, folks, for our 6th character. Edgar was in the end of the Magitech Factory, so the runners that have Edgar did a sequence break into the Magitech Factory, which you could do with the YNPC settings set to remove, but that also means that he is not logically available at this point in the seed. So our character has to be behind one of Strago's checks, is what we've deduced from all of the other runners in our omnipotent position here in the booth.
I guess the question, if you're in Honeydew's spot, do you do an Edgar check, or do you go for what you would hope is a guaranteed character from his point of view with Strago? Would you take that gamble? I know that's tough. Edgar takes some nice checks.
Edgar's checks are awful. Edgar, I actually like Strago's checks better than Edgar's checks, and here's our Fanatic's Tower peak. So we're gonna see what some other runners might already know. And yeah, that's an imp. So I think this is a required Burning House seed here. So thank you, Drinks Glue, for rolling this gem for us. I might be tempted to peek Edgar's check, and if there's a character at Engine Room, then I might go get them. But again, then you would be falling more and more out of logic, because there isn't necessarily a character behind the character that you found at Edgar's spot, right? Because you're still out of logic. So if that character was, say, Go-Go, right, Zone Eater is not guaranteed to have a character back there because of the way the logic of the seed works.
Yeah, logic is confusing once you get into a wider move. And then, yeah, and Edgar's checks lose that little bit of extra values with the shuffled chests. So you can't hunt for that Katana Soul in the 2 trap chests down there.
Yeah, excellent point. So it looks like Honeydew is doing a strategy that I don't know if many people know. One of the properties of Baba Breath is Baba Breath will blow away your dead characters first. So it looks like he is casting some spells on his own party in order to kill them off, so that Funbaba blows them away, because maybe he's not as confident in those party members at taking on the next boss here. So this is an interesting quirk you can do with the Mobilist check with Funbaba. If you have a character that you don't want to have fight the boss, then this is what you would do. I would be using the Doom spell.
Yeah, I guess just the unfortunate part for this is they have a lot of defense on these characters.
Terra's wearing a Minerva, so all these spells are just like, nope.
Yeah, at this point, like, it might have almost even just... I guess they just do so much damage that it is tough to not take the time to get rid of Strago and Terra, just because they have so much more damage on Cyan and Edgar.
All right, so Jesus the Frog here making their way through the Magitech Factory. So they will get Edgar and 2 Espers out of this, because they are actually fighting the bosses here. And more importantly, going to get that Magitech upgrade for Cyan there.
And Golden Shocker getting to the boss fight of the Burning House.
Finally. It seems like it's taken him forever to get here.
Yeah, those. Sometimes you can get past those encounters, but that feels pretty rare being able to get through those without touching them all.
If you can dodge a flame, then burning house, then you can dodge a ball. No, that reference doesn't work. It is Air Force though. No wonder why this house is on fire. There's a plane in it.
Yup. You just crash through, light everything on fire, I guess.
Oh God! And this is why I despise Air Force. He just can bully you into fractional damage attacks followed by AOE attacks. Thankfully, he's kind of a glass cannon, and Golden Shocker gets through here. Oh, I should have put up a poll. Who do we think is going to be our character here? I'm going to be nice to our runners. Let's give them Skip. I'm going to go with Sabin. What do you think, Grethen?
I don't know, I'm thinking Go-Go.
So you're being the opposite of nice. Okay.
Why not? We're not doing this run. You know, a little pain for the runners could be a little bit of entertaining.
All right. Hey!
Oh,
So Chadius wins
Chadius.
0 internet points with his guess of Celeste. And this means that Edgar is now back in Logic. So
well, I guess the Edgar gamble would have paid off.
Yeah, there you go. So this means that our next character is either at Edgar's checks or is at Opera House Disruption. So I'm going to get a poll going. So Grethen, why don't you take over here for a second while I do that?
Okay. Yeah, so we have Jesus finishing off his tentacle fight. We have Papa Shango killing his Dullahan. And we have Honeydew. Maybe he didn't peek the Yeti cave on his way up to get the Terra check, because he looks like he is going to do his Yeti check. See if he continues on here. Yep. So he's going to Yeti.
All right, hold on. We got one more.
Oh, one more. Papa Shango going to do his Doma Dream to get the unfortunate news of lots of Vespers when you're looking for a character at this point.
All right, so I did start a prediction in the Twitch chat. You can wager your channel points, as many as you have, as much as you want. Where is our 7th character going to be here? It's either got to be at Ancient Castle or Figaro Engine Room or Opera House Disruption. So click on that predict button, and you could choose a prediction, and then you could also predict with a custom amount of channel points. You don't have to predict with 10. You could predict with thousands if you need them, and we'll figure out who wins here. I am going to go with I like the opera. Right, so
I also did that. I put 5,000 on Opera House.
Oh, you did? You bet it all on the opera?
Yeah, bet it all on the opera. You know, hope for that little bit of pain, because people just love sitting through Opera House cutscenes.
All right. Well, I can't bet because I made the prediction, and that would be kind of cheating. Considering I can choose the outcome. But for those of you in the chat, that is. That's where we got to go. And Golden Shocker here is actually going to get his 7th character. So he is going to get Edgar at the end of the Magitech factory here. So we might not know this answer for a long time, actually. And where the heck is Honeydew that is fighting Spicy Chicken?
He's doing up to his Yeti check.
Oh, that's right. Yeti is dead, unfortunately. We know that it can't be at Umaro's spot. So we might not actually know where this next character is for a while.
Yeah. And we got a pretty even distribution. 7,000 on Opera, 10,000 on Engine Room, and 10,000 on Ancient Castle.
All right. Well, we're going to have to wait a little bit here. Unless somebody wants to roll up the seed. Y remove immediately into Magitech Factory. And actually, you could Y remove immediately into Edgar's checks and see if the the Engine Room prediction is right.
Yeah, because we have Papa Shango resetting out of Doma Dream.
Who was the first boss? Oh, it was Stooges. That's right. Vanilla Stooges.
Yeah, I didn't see how far he got to. Maybe he saw the soldier in the Dome of Dream and just decided to nope out after that.
Question is, what if they're all characters? Well, we are going to pick whoever finds that character first. That's how we're going to do this thing.
Sean's made the poll, so he gets to make the rules.
Yep.
Out of those 3 checks, which one would you do first?
I would definitely peek Figaro Engine Room. Like, I would have peeked Engine Room before I did any of Strago's checks, right? Again, it's kind of difficult because the further and further you go out of logic, the harder and harder it gets to figure out, what checks you should do next. For me, I'm very much an information type of runner when I choose my routing versus, oh, this check is near this other thing that I'm doing, so let's go do that, right? So that's how I tend to play.
Yeah, I guess the more you know about the game, the more you know about logic. I'm definitely see objective, go objective.
Yeah, usually we don't talk about the logic of the seed too much. It's not like other randomizers where, like in Zelda games or Metroid games, where you could do some glitches and tricks to kind of break where you're supposed to be able to actually access, right? So we don't usually talk about it too much, but YNPC remove allows you to do those logical sequence breaks. And it looks like Papa Shango is taking his fixed dice and using the boots and horn on it. So that, to me, is a much better end game build than rolling the dice itself many times.
Still a little bit of an animation, but definitely much faster than throwing the dice. And you also get the jump bonus damage, don't you, with the jumping dice, I believe?
Yeah, it's a 1.5 times damage bonus.
So helps out with the floor a little bit. Faster animation. Doesn't fully make up for the weaknesses of dice, but does definitely help shore it up.
All right, so that is Golem for Papa Shango, so he's got Calmness Protection. Jesus the Frog showing us the Genji helmet on the Figaro throne there.
Yep, Honeydew getting a Mandarin from his spicy chicken fight.
Yeah, he's going to be disappointed with this Yeti outcome here, unfortunately.
That's unfortunate. I guess when he was doing that terror check, he didn't peek the Yeti cave. Because us with our omnipotence know that this is going to be a long run up for not much. So I guess having the 10th Esper is nice.
Yeah, he's still not, even if this was a character, right, he still wouldn't be in go mode, so it's not bad to do this little loop, especially if you're going to do the dragon too. I noticed his levels were around 32 or 33, which is a little bit low, because remember, the scaling in the Kefka Grand Prix Deluxe is based on your character's Espers Dragons times 2.5, and the max scaling is level 45. So the bosses in Kefka's Tower are going to be level 45. So low 30s is really rough against bosses in KT with a split party. So the more levels you get, the better off you're going to be here. Oh, geez. Okay. Well,
that is a jump scare and a half right there. Oh, but with Berserk makes it much easier to fight.
Yeah, we did have Berserk off of one of our spells, thank goodness. We did not have Stop for Spicy Chicken, but we do have Berserk for Magi Master here.
Yes, this is an unpleasant Yeti check. Spicy Chicken into Magi Master.
All right, here we go. Jesus the Frog following Edgar's checks here. So we're going to get our answer hopefully very soon as to if it's at Opera House or if it's in one of Edgar's checks here.
Yep, and then you have Golden Shocker here. He's going to get... You get Edgar here, so he's going to be going go mode here after
that's
completing.
Right. Yeah, so we might not know for a while. That's why I said we're not going to know for a while, I don't think.
Yeah, I mean, Jesus the Frog could give us our answer here, but...
He's going. He's going.
see if he peeks that engine room and leaves, or if he was gonna do the full thing.
Oh no, he saw it. It is a soldier sprite, so it's not Figaro Engine Room. So those of you that predicted Figaro Engine Room, enjoy your channel points while you still technically have them, I guess? Question mark.
Yep, you're gonna be losing them here, unfortunately. Now it's a 50-50. Is my Opera House bet gonna pay off, or am I gonna lose everything?
Want to give a few shout outs while we're kind of getting some retreads here. We've got a few new followers. Thank you so much for following the channel. You'll get notified whenever we do races and go live. And we also are on YouTube. So if you're on YouTube watching this, hello from the past. That's where we upload all of the VODs of our races. And Knuckly Kong threw us a raid with a party of one. So thank you so much, Knuckly, for throwing your viewers over to us. And we do have an Umaro sighting in the seed, so now we know that Knuckly Kong has blessed it in more than one way. Oh, and Chrono reminds us, join the Discord too.
Yep, we fought a Yeti, recruited a Yeti that was taking care of some kids, and then Knuckly Kong and raid. So that's the trifecta of Yeti.
Objective complete.
Yeah, I guess you got some Yeti percent, and then maybe eventually we'll get that pet dog percent going too.
All right, well, Golden Shocker is now in go mode and has his Magitech upgraded. Remember, his Cyan, I think, was in the... Oh, that is a throw Celeste, too. Was in the 50s in terms of magic power. It might be even 60 by now, based on the levels here. Jesus the Frog pulling out another Esper, so that was what that reward was at the Figaro Engine Room. And I think he's either going down to the Ancient Castle or he's walking out of the castle here. So let's see what he decides to do. Nope, we are going to the Ancient Castle, folks. So we are going to find out where our potentially 8th, depending upon how you routed this, character is in the seed. But it looks to me, Gretham, like this was a Burning House required seed.
Yep, and it's one of those things where some people like to do Burning House first, and they would have had a big jump on everybody, but that's just the way the RNG goes sometimes.
Yeah, so technically, logically speaking, it is Burning House required, but depending upon what we find here at the Ancient Castle, and if we do that character's checks, we might have gotten away with it too, if it wasn't for that pesky Y remove.
Y removed, breaking all logic, all rules just gone.
All right, so Papa Shango has 7 characters, and he's going to head up here to the World of Ruin Norse Loop. So he has 2 chances at Espers. We know that he's going to get it on the first try with the Tritok spot. So he'll be in go mode shortly behind Golden Shocker. And unfortunately, so far, Sabin is nowhere in sight for our runners. And here comes the drum roll. Is it Ancient Castle?
Oh, no.
Oh, come on, Jesus the Frog. Come on.
Oh, we're all in suspense.
Oh, man.
Yeah, so will it be Sabin? Will we at least get that? Because we have no Sabin and no Blitz so far, so...
Yeah, so that would be interesting. If this is Sabin down here, do you go do the Phantom Train check, even if it's not a character, for Kefka Tower skip? That's a long check to do just to get a skip. Skip usually saves like 3 to 5 minutes or so of walking through the tower. And how long does the Phantom Train check take? It takes about, 3-4 minutes. So you're not really saving any time.
Yeah, and you get some XP doing the some of the fights leading up. And if you can take some dragons if you need some more XP, so get some options by not doing the skip.
So that is an Illumina there from the Norse Dragon. So that is a weapon for Artera to use. And Golden Shocker is fighting number 24. We already saw what Magimaster is. So we didn't have to do a double take, but he certainly did. Oh, no. Muddled our throw user.
Let's see. Oh, lucky enough, he goes down. Didn't have to see what the throw would have done to our own team. And the dragon's finally down, so is this going to be a character?
No, it's not a character.
The Opera House pays off.
So it is Burning House required after all. So let's end this prediction, and that's going to be real unfortunate there for Jesus the Frog. So we're going to choose our outcome. Opera House is where our next character is. So congratulations, all of you sophisticated folks that wanted a night at the opera.
Ooh, I like that number going up. The 5K paid off. Went all in and paid off.
There it is. Just take that same energy to Vegas, will you?
Well, that'd be a long trip. I'm up here in Canada, so.
I was there a couple weeks ago for a concert at the Sphere, and it was 115 degrees out. So I stayed inside.
Oh god, that's terrifying. Like I don't fully know what that is in Celsius. I just know big number is hot. Let's see what this is in Celsius.
Yeah, so take a hair dryer and turn it on high, and then put it in your face and walk around the whole time. I think it's probably around 40
degrees Celsius.
46. Yeah.
Yeah. No.
It's pretty bad.
No thanks.
All right,
I'm one of those weird people that winter favorite season.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, when in Canada, I'm in New York, so I also get 4 seasons. Fall is my favorite because of the weather, but winter I like too. I don't like being hot.
Yeah,
get me out of there.
Yep, I definitely prefer the cold over the heat. Oh, and then we have Jesus the Frog. He's gonna get his nurturing Yeti here.
Well, this is good at least for him because he needs 2 more characters, right? He doesn't need any more espers. Unfortunately, he knows that Yeti is not or at least I think he knows that Yeti doesn't lead to another character, so he's going to have to figure out where to go next. Let's take a look at his tracker. He has not done any of Strago's checks, and he also hasn't done Daryl's tomb, so he might do that before he goes to Strago checks.
Yeah.
So it might be a while before we get him into the burning house.
Yeah,
New Orleans hot is humid. It feels like you're swimming when you walk outside.
Like, yeah, dry heat isn't great, but humid heat, oof. When just like your body isn't allowed to sweat, that's when you know it's rough.
Yep. All right, so Honeydew here getting his go mode with Celeste saving our team.
It would have laughed if it's been go. Hopping down. Just the dread you see that hopping down.
Yeah, so we still don't know who is in Opera House. We just know that Opera House is where our next character is.
Yeah, because the only person who still needs a character is Jesus, so we'll see if he ends up event. Well, actually, he would never go to Opera House because he'll get sellouts before going to the Opera House. So
yeah, Celeste will be his go mode.
That's an unfortunate question we'll never get to learn.
So if anybody wants to run tonight's race seed, there it is there in the chat. In case you feel like playing it. If you have a penchant for going to the burning house first, then here is not a fun fight for Golden Shocker up the middle. This is Tritok, the ice chicken. Thankfully, he's got access to fire too.
Yep, and Cyan with 60-ish magic can definitely do damage with magic for once.
So it looks like Golden Shocker actually sent his entire party up the middle, is going to warp out and then walk the tower a second time. So maybe not feeling confident in either his levels or his party composition. So this is a tactic you can use to get more levels on your party, because everybody is going to be fighting those 3 bosses, Inferno, Guardian, and Poltergeist. And it comes at the cost of, several minutes of backtracking, because you have to do all of the walking one more time here. I would have liked him to have peeked these other 2 bosses just so that he could figure out who should go on what side. But this is an interesting play for Golden Shocker here.
Yeah, definitely got some XP because his characters were around 37 going in, and now they're over around 41. So he did get some levels out of it. Levels are king in Worlds Collide.
Yeah, so question from the chat about Chrono. Why would you not take the dragon there? I don't know, because at the current progression that he has, right? So characters plus espers plus dragons times 2.5 gets you to... Oh, I'm doing math on stream. This is a bad idea. gets you to, that's 19. So 19 times 2 is 38, and then half of 19 is, let's call it 10. So that's 48, right? And maximum scaling is 45. So he's already at max scaling. Taking one additional dragon wouldn't actually bump up the scaling, and you would get XP, you'd get MP, you'd get a drop. So I sort of agree. If you're in Kefka's Tower doing this, you should take the dragon, as he has a little bit of an oopsie here. So the party all the way on the right hand side has already cleared the tower, so that's where we want to put our Yeti, because he's going to be our just Moogle Charm mule walking through the already cleared tower. Party 1 fights the Doom statue side, and Party 2 fights the Goddess statue side. So that's sort of how the party layout goes here.
It's always, if you're not paying attention, it's always tough because it's a skip that it's left party goes left side, right party goes right side.
Right.
But when you don't do skip, the right party goes down the center, and so
Yep.
you do have to like
Yeah.
swap around. So if you're running on autopilot, that can definitely catch you up.
Yeah, not very helpful for our Lizdexic people out there. Jesus the Frog peeking Kefka at Narsh, and is going to go walk back down. Maybe he forgot to save before doing this walk up here. So you have 3 runners in Kefka's Tower here. So it's still anybody's race, I think. Golden Shocker already has 3 of his 5 bosses defeated, which is more than both of our other 2 runners. So both Papa Shango and Honeydew only have the Inferno spot done. Is that correct?
I believe so. Because yeah, they're still getting there on their switches now. So Golden Shocker has a little bit of a lead, probably a little bit of an XP lead, but with this party, anything can happen on Kefka. One wrong spell, and you could have to restart.
Yeah, going back to the conversation earlier about dragons. So you do get, maybe 1 or 2 levels per dragon at this high of scaling. So maybe Golden Shocker thinks it's not worth it for me to waste time on a boss fight that I'm only going to get 1 or 2 extra levels for. I'm going to spend more time fighting the dragon than I would shave off with those extra 2 levels. So maybe that's what he's thinking there.
Answer Drink Squoo's question. I have seen a lot of people saying lots of Ultimas might be happening.
Yeah, there are people that have joined the Falcon Cart class that haven't raced once, and I'm like, hee, I'm in danger. So I did not stab you in the back this past week in the when we did the Leet River Rally.
What about this week?
So my strategy, and I guess it doesn't matter anymore because I'm not really giving away anything, I don't think. My strategy was to make sure I had enough MP in week 8 to cast something that would get me out of trouble. So I didn't reach for a very high powered spell this time around. It was something a little more a little smaller in scale. I did, however, screw up first and second place this week, so double down, you're welcome for that. Because otherwise Honeydew would have gotten in first, but that's not how it happened. And Jesus the Frog, unfortunately, finding Phantom there at Zozo Tower. So he is definitely last location in this burning house. I don't blame him. That check is awful, unless you do it sort of early on.
It's one of those things where if you skip it early, you kind of want to keep it skipped. Because you're like, if somebody had done it early, you're still going to be so far behind.
Yeah, so if you are wondering what happened in last week's events or races or different kart classes, check out our YouTube channel, youtube.com/FF6worldscollide. I recently uploaded a week 6 recap video. So basically went through the 3 different seeds that the 3 different kart classes had and how everybody got through those. I'm pretty sure there was a burning house required seed in one of the kart classes last week too. So this is not like this is not anything new to me with the burning house required. But But yeah, so in case you're not clued into all of the Kefka Grand Prix Deluxe action, videos are up on YouTube with the recap here.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see what kind of spells are going out, because this is the last week before the finals, so everybody's gonna be just dumping their mana.
Yeah, so we are still technically, as of the recording of this race, we are still in the this is the Serpent Trench week. These are next week's flags for week 8, the Phantom Forest Railway. So I didn't do my race yet this week, so I'm complete that tomorrow or another day. But we still have until the weekend to get that finished, and then yeah, as you mentioned, Gretham, all MP will reset after week 8. So get your spell usage in now.
And then it'll be interesting to see, because there's that secret flag set, isn't there, for the finals? I believe, like the 4th one, isn't there?
Yes, we don't know what the flags are going to be for the elimination round. And finally, Jesus the Frog sets are actually attacks.
What, you don't like Stone Blaster?
gotta love Coliseum AI there, getting that Ragnarok.
Yeah, that is something that you do like using Yeti for that. That's a good point of Yeti early on, is just getting to punch stuff.
Yeti, stop screwing up my fight here. So Honeydew forgot his Moogle Charm, or is trying to learn a spell maybe. And unfortunately, there we go. Yeti ticks over and dies from poison. Controlling Doom Dragon is great because you know what? Doom Dragon is not immune to Fallen 1. So we can basically reduce his HP down to 1 and then just kill it, which is awesome.
Honeydew was running up and down, so this is an intentional fight. So he wanted this.
Okay. Maybe to... Oh, you know why? This is Tritok, isn't it? We need fire to kill Tritok?
Oh, we do need fire, yeah.
So Dataluma is one of the last bosses here. I think that's the last one, right? Golden Shocker has just finished the rest of his time. Papa Shango right behind him, getting into this fight as Golden Shocker is coming out of this fight. So we still have a race for the top here.
It'll be a spicy Kefka, because they do have Golem at least, so they can have calmness, but Kefka has some other tricks every once in a while.
Yeah, so let's see. Both Papa Shango and Golden Shocker both went to Ebbett's Rock, so they were going to have Golem for calmness protection. Mute was on some Esper at some point, and Doom, I think, was also learned. Yeah, that was on the first. Yeah. That was on the first Esper we got.
I think it was on the +1 magic power, the Shiva, I believe.
I think that was from Zen Thief. So we do have we have instant death. We've got Mute. We've got Golem. So this is an execution and an RNG type of situation here. So let's see when Golden Shocker gets to get into this fight. So I think there's a little game we usually like to play of how long this final fight will last. So I'm going to go with an 8-minute and 17-second Kefka fight out of Golden Shocker. What do you think, Gretham? What time are you looking at here? In chat, feel free to chime in as well.
I'm gonna go. That's gonna be maybe like a 9:27, 9 minutes 27 seconds. A little bit of a longer one.
All right, 1:20:36 on the start of Golden Shocker's fight here. We'll measure the difference between him and Papa Shango.
So it'll be interesting to see if he gets that sub 90 on this fight. Papa Shango, yeah, just coming right in behind him. It'll be close race on this Kefka. Papa Shango cleared through those bosses quite fast.
Yeah, I think he had way more levels here, and that is a 30-second difference between our bottom left runner and our top right runner. So those are the runners to focus on at the moment. Tier 1 of Final Kefka. We do have a Phantom cast. Unfortunately, that's nullified there, as the R Polarity is an AoE magic spell that will clear out your not the image status, your vanish status. And Golden Shocker getting some really nice dice rolls there for a quad 9. Unfortunately, Face is still alive and casting Dread, so hopefully we'll get him down soon. If he's left alive last, he'll death counter with Quake, so he's priority number 1. And then priority number 2 is Long Arm, who will cast up to 3 instances of Shockwave upon death. So we usually like to get rid of him with some instant death, and that's what that X-Fer is for. And then that Balled Up Fist will counterattack basically everything. So we want to make sure we're not at low health like Celeste is right now. Whew.
Ooh, scary. Yeah, but when you have Cyan doing 7k with Magitech Missile, you know, he got some alright damage.
Yeah, so Honeydew, unfortunately, we are at the Phantom Forest Railway flag set, and Ghost Train Evil Tooted him back into a reset there. So one last kick in the butt on the way up the tower there for Honeydew, who's just having some bad luck running with some party composition that's not ideal here. And we're up to tier 2 on Golden Shocker's screen. Mute coming out to take care of Magic, we already talked about, and since everybody has got the Magitech upgrade, we do have access to X-Fer, which is our instant death here. So we're going to take care of tools. And then Tiger is probably our next target, weak to Ice Magic. And hit will death counter with 10 hits. So that's probably the lowest priority of target once we get rid of Magic and tools here.
Yeah, you want to get rid of that Tiger, because Zombie can be scary.
All right, so Papa Shango with that fixed dice and Dragoon Boots set there coming down on that Balled Up Fist. Meanwhile, Golden Shocker there has already nullified 2 of the 4 parts of this boss, taking it apart with surgical-like precision. He just needs to have Setzer continue to roll the dice high. So we'll see what happens here on this end cross. Oh boy.
Who freezes?
Yeah, so the only way to unfreeze your party is to cast fire on them, and thankfully Terra didn't damage too much. It's only fire 2 after all, right? We did say that this is a no-top magic seed.
Yep, that flame shield from way back at the start coming in clutch with teaching that fire too. It's always sad when you just have to sit through the entire freeze.
Yeah, it feels like forever. I don't know what the exact time is, but it doesn't matter. It always feels worse than it actually is.
Yeah, just sitting there, just praying, like, let me free, let me free, let me free.
All right, so Papa Shango taking out 2 of the 4 parts here, or rather nullifying 2 of the 4 parts as well. So he's a little bit behind Golden Shocker, who has Tiger taken out. Honeydew here on the switches finally is going to be a couple of minutes behind. And Jesus the Frog is going to be getting his Calmness protection. I don't know if that'll make him happy or not. But at least he's getting something out of this check.
Going up to 14 Espers. Not the nicest feeling.
Yeah, hard last location at Burning House for him. And he even went and did Edgar's stuff, which none of our other runners actually did. So while the chat thanks you for figuring out the prediction, it also probably does not feel good to be at the long end of the seed here.
Yeah, my Moogle Bank really likes those checks that he did for me.
All right, Golden Shocker up to tier number 3 here. So this is where that Golem will come into play, as one of the parts of this boss will death counter with up to 2 instances of an instant death physical attack. And then that lady will both heal and revive the other part. So we're going to want to take care of that one first.
So, yeah, Golden Shocker went up at around like 125.30. So we'll see when Papa Shango will be going up, because it is still very close.
All right, unfortunately, getting hit with that W wind. And since Cyan was vanished, that means he will definitely be affected by that spell. And this is where the fixed dice fight command versus the fixed dice jump command might come into play here for Golden Shocker versus Papa Shango. If Papa Shango wants to catch up, as this is the death counters now for Magic, so he's going to be heading up to tier 3. He's going to need Golden Shocker to start missing with some of these dice rolls, but I just think the damage output from the rest of his party is just going to be way too much to contend with here between Tech Missile and Throw on Celeste.
Yeah, getting those buying those early shurikens when you see them has really paid off to make Sellas just powerful right off the bat. Just always have something to throw.
That's the Golem cast there, so that will protect your party for the amount of damage that's equivalent to the HP of the caster when they cast that spell. Unfortunately, W-Wind taking his party down a little bit here, so the question is, do we heal this party or do we push on through? So not yet in Medio counterattack phase. That's when he's below 10,000 HP, so we have to do a little more damage here, Golden Shocker does, in order to push him into that phase, and it looks like we're going to potentially do it here with the Shuriken throw. No counters yet. Here comes the Tech Missile, and does that push him over the edge? This pushes him into...
the train.
So he's under 10,000 HP, so we have to do 10,000 damage here in this turn, and unfortunately we've queued up a shield, and Medio comes out. We'll see how that affects his party. Flame Shield will hopefully put this to bed, and the Golem will protect. Wow, only 5,300 damage from that shield throw, so very lucky that Golden Shocker did a lot of damage to sleep before that point there.
Yeah, and then we have Papa Shango also having
boy,
Golem. Those jump! Oh, I think we're going into this within 10 seconds of each other. It's going down to the wire.
Double 9,000 or over 9,000. There's some anime reference here that I don't understand. But Papa Shango catching up to Golden Shocker here. So it's down to how much DPS we could put out against Kefka. 60,000 or so base HP. We'll start countering after 30,000 HP. We'll see if either one of these runners has enough damage to bypass Fallen 1, which happens on Kefka's first turn, unless he's in that counterattack range, like we mentioned. And if it's under 10,000 HP, he may counter with Ultima. But hopefully we won't get there in this particular instance.
It'll be interesting to see if Fallen 1 comes out. They don't really have a whole lot of healing.
Well, so we do have that Mega Elixir from that Magimaster fight. Which I don't know, did Golden Shocker, did he fight Magimaster at...
I think only Honeydew fought Magimaster, so he must have found it somewhere. So we'll see if Papa Shango has found that, because, yeah, Mega Elixir definitely makes Falling 1 a lot less scary.
All right, Hyperdrive coming out there. So Kefka definitely in counter phase. Now he's charging up for Goner, so he will not counterattack at this point. But unfortunately, Papa Shango has queued up the jump there, and his party is now in tatters. Terra is dead. Other two members are at very low HP. Meanwhile, Golden Shocker, quad 9s from Setzer, but it's still not enough. Out comes the Goner. I wonder if he's queued up some attacks here, because that can be quite dangerous. Because remember, after Goner, Kefka can do some counterattacks. So Golden Shocker has to be very careful here of what his next move is. Tech Missile coming out, and we'll see if this does it. Time is on the flash, and there it is.
Ooh, he gets it.
1:29:46 is the official time for Golden Shocker. Get your GGs in the chat and go tell him congratulations there. Unfortunately, Papa Shango going to sit through this Goner here. So he is close, but not close enough.
That was such a close race. Both people on the final Kefka at the same time. Whew, that was a fun one.
All right, so I'm going to calculate exactly what that Kefka climb finished at. But we are joined here by Golden Shocker as Papa Shango finishes 1:30:45, so less than 60-second difference between our first and second place runners here tonight. Golden Shocker, congratulations, though, on the victory here. GG's, my friend.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it. That was an interesting one. I wish I found a little bit of offense somewhere along the way. I was just relying on Cyan with his Magitech, and that's all I had, basically.
Well, you did manage to get Cyan to a respectable 58, 60, something like that. Magic Power with that Magic Power +1 Esper at the end of it there. But tell us a little bit about your strategy for the Phantom Forest Railway flags, especially when you see you do have a Cyan with Magitech to start.
I mean, honestly, I was looking for a lot of offense early, so I did a lot of dead checks, knowing that I was looking for just something to like, get me off the ground, some kind of offense. So I was fishing a little bit there, and then when that didn't really come through, I was like, all right, well, I got a flame shield, I have a thunder shield, which I was lucky to find both of those, honestly. I was like, well, let's just load those up on people, and it's going to be tier 2 magic this seed, it looks like. So honestly, I spent most of the seed just trying to make the most of what I had. Wasn't necessarily anything all that impressive, but I think it got the job done in the end.
Yeah, so we did see you did peek into the Coliseum, and there was not really anything there for you in it. Unfortunately, I think had you gone either maybe a little later or maybe you sold off some of these items, but there was a Ragnarok in the Coliseum for a Magicite, and there was an offering for a Blizzard sword, I think, or something like that. So
Oof.
you could have
Yeah.
powered up some of your offense that way. There was fixed ice for sale in one of the Collingens after you got Setzer. So depending upon which one you went into, you may or may not have found it. We did, I think, find fixed ice anyway, which is what you were chucking there at the end. But yeah, kind of difficult to slog through with the offense in this seed.
Yeah, I sold the Magicite early. I don't think I came across a Blizzard sword. So that's unfortunate, but I mean that's also Rando's gonna rando, I think. Um, Honestly, I spend a lot of my like practice time just making the most of a bad seed. I mean,
Yeah,
normally
and
you'd
this
want to
is
get a fast one, but yeah.
Yeah, well, this is how you make yourself better as a runner, right? The easy seeds, the jet seeds, are not going to really make you better at the game. It's seeds like this where you decided to walk through Kefka's tower twice with your party. Is that just due to the fact that you didn't feel comfortable sending them in the 1-1-2 fashion against the bosses here?
All my offense was level based. So I was thinking a lot about, well, magic power plus one scion, which, more levels gets him stronger. Fixed dice obviously scales up with levels. And then I had throw celeste at the end, which physical throw is highly dependent on levels. So like all of my offense, anything that I wanted was level based. I was like, even if it slows me down, like the walking time, like the levels are invaluable for the climb part, which I feel like I made I probably made up some time on the climb just based on, just having real offense at that point, sign hitting for what, 7 grand, 8 grand, whatever it was. Like that was a game changer, honestly.
Gretham, you have questions for Golden Shocker while we got him here?
No, nothing comes to mind. Just thank you for letting us restream you, because that was quite a fun race. Just to have two people finishing within a minute of each other.
I mean, the shocking barons are dangerous. That's all I have to say. Me and Shango are the reigning Chupon champions too. Honestly, he got a better time than I did. So, I mean, he's been playing extremely well. So I'm happy to see it was that close of a race. I'd like to see like how he routed and what he did different, but definitely, Shango's been playing really well. It's really exciting to get in a race with him like that.
Yeah, I think part of it was just he did not obviously send his party through the tower twice, but when everybody's sort of funneled down into Burning House, right? The routing at that point doesn't really as much matter as execution, and his execution was really really good throughout the seed. There are several instances where he did things like controlling one of the retainers in the martial retainer fight so that he wouldn't get hit with certain counter spells and things like that. So it's always good to see, runners pull out that sort of tech. So that was fun to see here. So does this sort of practice race, will this affect perhaps how you run your week 8 seed, or are you just going to hope that we're not in a Burning House funneled required seed for our actual race here?
Um, I mean, it's not going to affect how I approach it by any means, but
Mm-hmm.
I've seen like even the week 7 seeds. Like I haven't run my week 7, but like I saw some things. It certainly makes you think once you see a bad one of like, okay, well, should I approach this a little differently? I usually have an approach to a seed, and it definitely scares me when I see a bad one pop up. This wasn't that bad. It seemed rough just because I didn't have like top tier offense, but I still there's some bad ones where a lot of interesting things could happen. I try not to change my routing based on RNG if I can help it.
Yeah, that's always a good thing is to remember that. Unfortunately, rando is going to rando sometimes, as you mentioned, and if you play your game, you keep your head down, and you do the fundamentals right, most of the time you're going to come out with a really good time, just like you had here. So really, really nice showing from you, and congratulations on the win. And we'll probably see you in the tournament, the elimination round after the 8th week. So looking forward to that as well.
Yeah, it'll be exciting. It's been a fun event so far, and looking forward to how it plays out.
All right. Thanks again for volunteering, as Gretham said. Can't have the races without the runners, and we'll catch you on the next time.
Yeah, no, and thank you guys for doing the restream, doing the comms, doing the tracking. All that stuff's just as important as the runners. If we didn't have any of that, then it wouldn't happen either. So yeah, much appreciated as usual.
Yep, real MVPs, Chrono and Dubword, and Drinks Glue for pushing the buttons. So for sure. Thank you very much, Golden Shocker. Catch you later now.
Yeah, have a good one.
All right, joined by second place runner Papa Shango, 60-second time difference here. GG is on a really nicely done race. So give us your thoughts on the Phantom Forest Railway flag set and what sort of your approach to this seed was here.
Well, thank you for the GGs and GG to Golden Shocker if he's still around. It was a pretty close race. I'm happy to be close to someone of Golden Shocker's caliber and coming in ahead of Honeydew. It makes me, is feeling good about that. But so the Phantom flag set, I like this one. I think it's the hardest of the 4 tracks because of the lack of magic and the free checks being not progression and the rewards being kind of weaker, so it's kind of tough to get going sometimes. But yeah, otherwise they're fun seeds.
Yeah, so with the no free progression flag, we did see a bunch of runners go to get some of the free checks. The Curse Shield battles were at 9 counts. Is that ever in consideration for you, especially given that we dug a couple of other elemental shields and a Minerva out of our initial looting there?
Yeah, I thought about it because 9 is relatively low, and I had a lot of grind checks ahead of me, and I was planning on doing Elite River, but I didn't get a ribbon and or a peace ring. If I saw one in a shop, I missed it. And with those elemental shields and the Minerva, I didn't feel like it was super necessary since it can't teach Ultima. I didn't want to lose a character while I grounded out.
Yeah, so towards the end there, we sort of got funneled into Burning House to grab Celeste, who I think by that point you had already done the Magitech factory check and gotten Edgar, right? So sort of what was...
Yeah, I did that one pretty early.
Yeah, so what was your routing? How was it affected by the Y remove setting here in this flag set?
Well, since I had the Magitech Cyan, I was thinking, I want to get in there. I haven't played with Y remove a lot, so I wasn't positive that it would give me the reward at the end, but I was pretty sure it would, so I thought I'd go for it. I was going to put it off for a while, but then I got that Magic 1 Esper and put it right on him, and I'm like, well, I want to get this unlocked as fast as I can. Because with the no good magic or no high tier magic, I knew Tech Missile was going to come in handy. And so I just wanted to get that right away. And then doing things like going to Terra's Zozo check, being able to get all those guys out of the way. I don't mind going to that one as much. And then hitting the one I'm sure everyone does is the weapon shop is the nice, easy in and out.
Yeah, so talk a little bit about your team party composition. We had a few different things going on. You had the boots with the Pearl Lance, and then you eventually switched it over to Fixed Ice, and then you found the Ragnarok in the Coliseum, I believe, right, as well. So what was sort of besides the Tech Missile build, obviously, what were you sort of thinking there in terms of
I was
what
having
the team was giving you?
was having some indecision there once I got Setzer in the party, and then I found those fixed dice, and I saw Strago and Setzer could both use them. And I'm like, well, Strago's got higher magic power and has learned some magic already. Maybe I should keep him in there. But then I was thinking, well, Setzer's got high vigor. I'm like, maybe I could find a weapon that he could use. So I decided to put him in instead. And then since I was in the area, I'm like, I'll check the Coliseum, and I had a dragon horn for the white dress, and I already had the boot. So I'm like, oh well, he can be a dice jumper. And then Edgar with that Ragnarok. Luckily, I could only get one because I accidentally sold my Genji glove in the beginning, thinking it was Genji armor. And so
Whoops.
yeah. So that Coliseum play really worked out. But yeah, that was my debate on who to put in the party. And then by the time I got Celeste, it was so late I didn't even look at her ability until I was fighting Dataluma.
Yeah, the Celeste with throw might have made things a little bit interesting there. So, but yeah, so not Dub Word. He's tracking. Gretham, do you have any questions for Papa Shango while we got him?
I guess one question here is kind of like Drinks Glue said. Papa Shango won in an earlier event, the Chocobo or the Moogle Cup. Sorry. How and now here you are, going head to head with a lot of the top runners. How do you approach improving? Because you've just improved so fast.
Well, I probably watch way too much of other people playing to try and pick up on what their tendencies are and why people do what they do. And so I, just practice and watching a lot. But the Moogle Cup definitely helped a lot getting my feet off the ground, at least giving me a good spot to start and kind of see the game through the eyes of racers, like high tier racers, and kind of the thought process and what you should be thinking about if you really want to move fast. Um, that really helped get the start. And then I just practicing and watching a lot of other people play.
Yeah, so if you're interested in learning how to play the game, join our Discord, and you can sign up for either a mentorship if you're just getting started, or if you want to improve rapidly, then the Moogle Cup is something that I would certainly offer as a suggestion. The signups are still open. We only need a couple more participants in order to start up the 16-person tournament for newer players. So if you're interested in doing that, join our Discord. ff6worldscollide.com/discord is how you can get started there. Glue, I think Honeydew is showing us the Opera House, so we can see what the reward is behind there. So I don't know if you want to throw that up on screen real fast while we finish up here. Papa Shango, you have any other final thoughts or anything that you want to chat about before we let you go here?
No, just thanks for having me on the race. It's always fun to do these and get the community events going. Really been enjoying the Grand Prix event and looking forward to the last week, seeing how the all the magic spells of Ultima is going to start flying. I think there's one or two guys that are at least capable of using it. So just kind of want to see what happens.
Yeah, I'm terrified that there are some new faces in the Falcon Cart class here for this
I think
weekend.
you're going to have a couple
there
new
it
people.
is. It is Locke behind Opera House, so that is how the seed continued onward. Very interesting there. Edgar's checks gave us no characters. So it is what it is. Oh, he's continuing on this line. We'll see if South Figaro Cave's got anything. But yeah, thank you so much, Papa Shango, for agreeing to race on Restream. Can't have the races without the runners. And good luck with the rest of the tournament. I believe you are in the
I am the last guy in right now.
Yeah, you are on the edge. So does that sort of affect how you approach the last 2 weeks of the event here?
It might. I'll have to see where I'm end up after this week 7. It might. Might have to just see if I just need a couple points. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, that'll be really exciting. So anyway, we'll let you go. Thank you so much, and we'll catch you on the next one.
All right. Thanks, guys.
All right. Meanwhile, Honey has given us the world tour here. He did finish 135 flat. So not too far behind our other two runners. And hey, there is Realm at Moogle Defense. So our logical chain continues. Still no Saban.
Yep. No, don't want to get the skip for anybody here. It looks like.
No Saban in sight. Oh yeah, so here are the standings. Thank you so much, Glue, for pulling them up there. Drinks Glue currently the leader of the pack there in first place. Papa Shango is in 16th place, the last one in there. We could see him at 40 points, with Hefe nipping at his heels in 17th place at 38 points. So not a lot of difference between, let's see, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 10th place is Physics Shebang with 48 points. So it's less than 10 points between it's 10 points exactly rather between 17th place and 10th place. So there's a whole bunch of runners in the middle there, Honeydew included as well, that are in the mix still to get into the elimination portion of our event.
Next, it's been a fun one because all four of these runners are all in the top 16, so they're all looking to move on to the final elimination round.
Yep, so I am sandwiched actually between Golden Shocker and Jesus the Frog. So that is definitely a sandwich that no one would ever want. So thanks for that, guys. But yeah, it's been really fun, just competing with everybody to get to the top of this heap here.
It'll be really interesting to see what that last flag set is, what kind of pain it'll put you guys in.
Yeah, so it is called the Havoc Ring. So it's like a play on words of Havoc Wing, and it looks like we got Go-Go at some point. Honeydew is continuing on our little journey here. But yeah, that'll be interesting to see exactly what the flags are for the Havoc Wing, or Havoc Ring rather. Meanwhile, Jesus the Frog here does have Golem because he basically did every single check in the game, and this is dangerous here as Golem is going to come out from thankfully it's only from Strago. Because if it was from Setzer, then Golem would only block 150 HP or 150 something damage, which is not fun. That was an Aura Lance there at the end of Zone Eater, which is pretty gross.
Yeah, seems like there's just a bunch of characters though locked behind that Opera House, getting 3 of them. So,
yeah, the seed will definitely open. The seed has got to open up at some point, right? It's gross if it doesn't. I mean, Mog is only got 1 or 2 checks with him, so, and same thing with Realm, only 2 checks there, so not necessarily very open, but that's all right. All right. What's up, Jesus the Frog? Going up to tier number 4.
How's it going?
So, what is your party composition looking like here for Final Kefka? We got Cyan with Tech Missile, Setzer with some dice.
Pretty bad.
You did pick the Ragnarok out of the Coliseum, right?
Yeah, I got 2.
Hey, there's Saban. So Saban is in Alzur's Mansion after Realm, who was in Moogle Defense after Mog, who was in South Figaro Cave after Locke, who was at Opera House. So that is, you had to go 12 characters deep to get Skip.
Yeah,
or 11 characters deep, rather, to get Skip.
Yeah, don't see many people getting Skip on this one.
Absolutely not. All right, so we do have a couple of elemental shields here to throw, and we do have that Mega Elixir that we looted way back at the beginning of the game here, hopefully going to come in pretty handy. So we'll see what Kefka decides to do here. Is going to come out with Fallen 1, so let's go ahead and heal ourselves back up here. That is not the dice roll we want from Setzer. Oh, we have an offering, though.
Ooh, there's those quad 9s.
And that offering took us a long time to get out of the Coliseum because Setzer decided to use all sorts of shenanigans.
The
There
Archer
was
wasn't too bad. The first battle with the Ragnarok, that took
oh
a
that
long
that
time.
that was the bad one. Yeah,
First
I
guys
knew,
can regen, cast bolt. Yeah.
yeah, I knew one of them was bad. I just wasn't sure exactly which one here. All right, so here comes the charge for Goner. We're gonna queue up this Mega Elixir. We're gonna throw this shield, and yeah, this should do it after this. Oh, plus the proc. Let's go. All right, so time is on the flash here. Let's see if we get this flash. I think with this dice throw, this will do it. Hopefully,
Not the greatest rolls.
maybe not that one, or that one either.
Oh boy.
Okay,
Oh, but
it's
it's
fine.
enough.
Everything's fine. This is fine. We're good. 151.41 is the final time there. So get your GGs for Jesus the Frog. So we did talk a little bit about the Coliseum shenanigans. It's just this was a very linear seed locked in at Burning House, and I think you were the only person that went through the full Edgar loop before going to Burning House. So a bit unfortunate there. Tell us a little bit about your strategy with Phantom Forest flag set with Y remove and the no free progression flags and stuff like that.
Well, my strategy is basically to forget that wire move exists and then keep waiting for NPCs to walk out of my way. It's my main go-to technique. But usually in all these flag sets, I like to do like a most one progressive check, then take a fight or two just to get level 5 or 6 before I do anything else. This time I ran into those Victor Oils, which would have been fantastic if I had managed to get one more hit off of Terra and actually kill them. Otherwise, it's basically 2 minutes because of that wipe. But
yeah, that was a little rough at the beginning of the seed. It was either that, and then there was a couple of other places where some of the other runners went that also had some pretty tough fights. So you weren't the only one that ran into some annoying ones there.
Yeah, I had no offense early on, and the whole scene I was thinking, I got no offense, maybe I should just check the Coliseum. But there's never anything like Coliseum for me. But this time, of course, Magicite for Ragnaroks, I had my Genji Glove Terra with a Pearl Lance with no spells in there and traded Magicite for Ragnarok at like 4 minutes. I had a much better time.
Yeah, part of the problem with the Coliseum is you need a build to actually get the thing that you want. You know, it's sort of like a catch-22 or a chicken and egg problem. So,
In this case, the enemy was actually pretty easy, and I had that Pearl Lance and something else on Terra. She was swinging with Genji Glove for like 200 damage per swing, like right at the beginning, level 3. So it was not bad.
Yeah, and the procs were doing a lot of damage too. We saw that as well.
Yeah.
So just get procs. That's how you get good at this game. So yeah, talk to us a little bit about sort of trying to stay focused when you know that the sort of the routing has gone off the rails here a little bit, especially towards the end of the seed with just unfortunately very, very last location for you having you got 14 espers, I think, this seed, right? Something like that.
14, and I
peaked
Mobliz and took Mobliz. Where did I peak? Somewhere else. I went in and I went back out. So like that's not. Oh, it was Kefka Narch. I walked up, and then I walked out because I remembered I hadn't saved before going into Narch.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was good.
And then checking the item behind Welk that you already nabbed.
Yeah, I had. This is why I don't.
All sorts of fun stuff.
I don't start races past 7 p.m. because I get too tired and I cannot remember what I've done. It's bad.
Well, listen, I know that we really appreciate you hopping in to fill out the race room. Can't have the races without the runners. Gretham, you have any questions here for Jesus the Frog?
Nope, just thank you for letting us restream you. That was a fun race to watch.
I do have a question, out of curiosity. Did anyone else do like 26 checks, 14 espers, or was that just me?
No, you were unfortunately the only one that went that far deep. I mean, so Honeydew did eventually do 25 checks, but he was looking to see how deep in the seed Sabin was. So it was just you.
It makes me feel a lot better because I was like 20 minutes behind third place.
Yep.
And if I got that far behind, and he had also done that number of checks. That was really bad. But if he just picked a better route and didn't have to get extra 4 espers, I feel better about it.
Yeah, I think it was mostly the fact that you went to the Coliseum, I think, later than some of our other runners, and you also did Edgar's loop of checks, which no one else did. That was basically the time difference, more or less, overall, right, between you and the rest of the group there. So we did pull up the standings before, and you are, I think, right after me in 6th place right now, sitting overall in the standings. Which is good enough to make it to the elimination portion of the event. Does that sort of affect how you play your seeds in the last 2 weeks, or are you just going to continue to, improve and play how you're going to play and just see what the heck happens from there?
Doesn't affect it at all. So my general philosophy, my approach to competitive randomizer racing is always no prep, no practice, no problem. I don't practice, I don't prepare, because if I get into something and I get really competitive, I'm going to focus on it. I'm going to think about it. I'm going to grind it down. I'm going to stop having fun with it as I try to just optimize it, and I don't find that to be very enjoyable. So I prefer to not practice and just go in and play and do whatever, have fun, and then see how I do. So I'm not trying to win. I'm trying to see where I'm ranked compared to other people. If you see what I mean.
Yep. Just enjoy yourself. No prep.
Exactly.
No problem. Yeah, I do definitely like that philosophy, and there is there is sort of a saying there: when you get those competitive instincts in, you kind of optimize the fun out of doing something. And at the end of the day, playing the randomizer is supposed to be fun. And if you're not having fun, then just don't do what you're doing, right? So
yeah.
Excellent. Well, again, thank you for volunteering for Restream. Can't have the races without the runners, and good luck, and hope to see you in the elimination portion of the tournament, or the event rather.
We have one more week, right?
Yeah, so these are next week's flags. We have the Serpent Trench run is this week, and then Phantom Forest Railway is next week. And then our MP will reset before we go into a top 16 battle royale, and then the top 8 will move on to the final week with the top 8, and obviously the person in first from those 8 racers will win the whole entire thing. So that's sort of the structure going forward.
Gotcha.
But awesome. Thank you so much, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Later.
Okay, wonderful. So Gretham, I thought that was a really fun race, and we had 2 runners within 60 seconds of one another, and 3 racers basically within 5 minutes of one another. So really awesome race here on Final Fantasy VI Worlds Collide. Any other final thoughts before we send it over to Final Fantasy IV Free Enterprise? I think we're going to send it over to there, as they're doing some of their races in their community.
Yeah, just like you said, just 4 top runners going fast was a lot of fun. I just once again want to thank Chrono and Dubword for tracking, and Drinks Glue for restreaming. Yeah, it was just a lot of fun.
Yeah, that was so much fun. Thank you, Gretham, for popping in the booth with me. Appreciate you being my co-pilot here as we're doing the talking. And like you said, the real MVPs of the stream, Glue, Dubword, Chrono, doing the beepity bops, pushing the buttons to make the stream look nice for everybody. So thank you so much, and we'll catch you all on the next one. Peace out, everybody. All right, I think we've rated.
Yep, it looks like we're on Free Enterprise now.
Woo-woo.
GG.